Joe Van Doren here, and welcome to our Virtues Pick for today. We have the word that came up today ties into what we were talking about yesterday and what we were focusing on. Remember, yesterday we were focusing on assertiveness, and today the word that came up for us was tact. So I think that's very applicable because when we're assertive, we want to be tactful too, because that's a way of being more kind, right, in the way we speak. So let's read the description first, and then we'll discuss it a little bit. Tact is telling the truth kindly. We think before we speak, aware of how deeply our words affect others. When our words are weighty, we weigh our words, knowing they have the power to cause pain or to uplift. A harsh word to an intimate is like a grain of sand in their eye. An encouraging word can fill them with confidence. Tact is essential when we feel strong emotions like anger. It helps us discern what to say and what is better left unsaid. Tact is good timing. It is the diplomacy of the heart. So what a great word and a nice tie-in with yesterday. It's amazing sometimes how these things happen. And it makes me wonder, though, it sounds to me like as these virtues came up, that it's something that we need to be reminded of, and I'm talking about myself, need to be reminded of a balancing so that we're tactful and yet we get the words out that we need to speak. And so as I was reading this, there was a couple of things that came to my mind. The first one was about how a harsh word is like a grain of sand in someone's eye. And I was thinking about that from a parenting point of view, and how have you ever noticed how both the words discourage and encourage, or encouraging or discouraging, both have the word courage in them. And it takes courage, doesn't it, to be assertive and at the same time tactful. It takes courage to speak the words that need to be spoken and at the same time not destroying the feelings of honor and dignity and worthiness in another person, especially in a child. It does not take very much to discourage a child. And for some adults who have experienced those kind of experiences in the past, it can be one of those things that is very easy to discourage them and to make them give up and to make them feel hopeless and make them feel as if they don't matter. And so, tact is one of those virtues that requires us to pause. And I was reading something the other day about, I don't know, this article came up on charismatic people and what is the one thing that charismatic people do that maybe others don't. And it was interesting because the thing that they said was that they pause before they speak. And it gives them time to think about the words that they're going to use. And that's what's necessary in tact, isn't it? It's that we pause before we speak. Because, if we say the first thing that comes to our mind, it's likely not to be the thing that's going to be the most encouraging, especially if we're feeling some strong emotion, whether it's anger or frustration or, annoyance, whatever it might be. And so taking that pause. Now, the article said that they pause for like 2 to 3 seconds. And that doesn't sound like a long time, and it's not, but it does allow us the opportunity to check in with ourselves and just see, what are these words that I'm getting ready to speak? What is the effect that it's going to have? Is it going to be like something that stays with this person for a very long time as an irritant, or is it going to be something that stays with them for a long time that builds confidence? And of course, we want our children to feel that confident feeling, and that just kind of leads me to something else. It's funny how as I talk, other things come up in my mind, and I'm thinking about how many parents, come and say, what we ask, well, what is it that you want to accomplish? What is the end goal here? Well, I want to build their confidence. I want them to be more confident in the way they are. And one of the initial things that all of us need to do, whether it's with our children or with employees or with our mates or whatever, is we need to acknowledge them for the goodness that's inside of them. We need to look for it and acknowledge it. We need to speak it out loud in a tactful and kind way. We need to recognize in them the virtues that they show in a positive manner. It's only after doing that that we're able to speak with critique and speak those heavy, those words that are weighty, as it describes it here, those words that are needed maybe, but at the same time may be difficult to hear. It's only after we've been able to acknowledge someone for the goodness inside of them that they're going to even be willing to have a listen to what else we might have to say. So tact is essential for our relationships with other people, and it displays for us the very things that we are. We don't want to hurt other people, do we? And it's not our intention to be discouraging to a child as they're growing up. And so taking that moment to pause and think, how am I putting this? And have I put enough in the emotional bank account with them that I'm able to speak these words and they don't receive them as just being, an angry big person. So that's my thoughts today about this virtue of tact. I'll be focusing on it today with that thought in mind of pausing, not so much for the charisma, I'm not sure I have that, but for the idea of telling the truth kindly, of having the good timing with the words that I speak, to do things, say things that are encouraging and that leave the person with a feeling of worthiness. And that's what tact does. So those are my thoughts today about tact. I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow as we get a new word and find out what we're going to focus on tomorrow. But today it's all about tact. And so let's focus on that as we practice all of the virtues and the 4 C's of successful families, and that is clarity, communication, consistency, and community. Until next time, bye.